Hello, my pink, cozy, and gentle people. Today is a gorgeous day. You know why? Oh, because also, look how cute. It's all pink, it's all cute, it matches. Even my hairbrush is pink and it's cute and it matches. I've also got pepper on. But yeah, they do different things, that's why. But yeah, the sun is out and it's really nice. And we've got the sunshine and my neighbour's walking and looking at me and judging me. Haha. But anyways, let's get into it. Today, I'm reminding you that your life doesn't have to be perfect in order to feel beautiful. We're literally going to be talking about why romanticizing your life isn't just about feeling good, it actually helps your brain as well. And as someone who has always tried to stay positive in the negative situations that life does throw at us, it's also something that has always got me through. I know hope can sometimes feel unrealistic, but hope in combination with romanticizing the little things really does make that difference in how you feel about the world around you, equally how others feel about you too. I'm always labelled as very positive and bringing good energy. So I don't think that's because I always feel that way. There have been plenty of days where I feel very sad, but I still choose to romanticize even the little things like the rain, like looking at flowers. There's just something beautiful to be seen within everything, and that really does help. So what does romanticizing your life actually mean? I think I've seen a lot of social media confusion around this, and for me at least, what it means is noticing the small good things. Sometimes it's literally just, as I said, romanticizing the rain, being like, wow, doesn't it look like glitter? Doesn't it look so wonderful? And just being grateful for seeing such beauty. And what helps me sometimes is actually thinking that I'm 80 years old and I have one chance to go back to any given point in my life, and for some reason it's that moment. So if it's something tricky, sometimes you're dealing with kids and the tantrums and it feels very overwhelming and overstimulating and you're there like oh my gosh, I'm about to explode, and then you just give yourself that rephrasing in your head of the situation. You're like, okay. And I really do just enjoy that moment, and that's a part of romanticizing things. But equally, I'm just going to do my earring. Whoa, there we go. It's about choosing softness where possible, because life can feel so sharp and so hard, and so many of us are carrying that weight, that when you do choose to just romanticize and view things through a soft lens, you're letting yourself breathe a bit more and you're going, I don't need to carry that in such a heavy way. It's all about making small moments feel magical, and it's not delusion, it's intention. As we know me, we know I love a little bit of science and psychology, because I love to find why things feel better. I love to figure out why we feel certain ways, and there's always, especially with, more psychology, more science, more research coming out every day, it's always so good to just try and get the answers. So, let's get them! So, the psychology behind it, I've written a few notes. I hope you don't mind. Obviously, we've got dopamine and novelty. Small aesthetic pleasures trigger dopamine. So obviously, in a previous video that I covered, I spoke about why even seeing beautiful things can actually impact you in a positive way. I think that was to do with how you dressed, that video. And so it's really important to put yourself in the lens of trying to romanticize beautiful things, because it does actually trigger dopamine. And if anything, as humans, we definitely need dopamine. What else did I write? Soft visuals, pink tones, cute objects signal safety, and it helps move the brain and body out of stress mode. So obviously, we spoke, on my page, we've spoken about survival mode, we've spoken about healing from tricky situations, but sometimes, the healing process is about being intentional with the softness that you set around yourself. And so I really love interior design, and I think it's important that your space reflects things that make you feel peaceful. So for me, each room that I do have, I don't have the biggest place in the world, but each room I've tried to design it in a way that helps my mind in different states it's in. So my room here, I've designed it, and I'm still working on it, you know, it's a work in progress. When you're trying to do things yourself, it takes time, and it's also good to be, you know, considerate with yourself when you're trying to do things like that. But yeah, I've done it in a way that I come here and I feel safe to just relax and hide from the world. And I think that's important. The brain moves where the attention goes to, so it's really important that you do attention training. And that's essentially what romanticizing your life is. It's attention training your brain. So you're redirecting your thoughts from anxiety, from things that might be stressing you, into things that are more positive. So if you're setting the bar in your brain that you need to be actively romanticizing your life, actively looking for things that make you feel happier, things that look great. You could be in an area that isn't the most prettiest, but you've noticed the flowers and you're thinking to yourself, isn't it so wonderful that even in this very kind of concrete jungle, I don't know where I'm imagining in my head, there's still a flower that's trying to grow somewhere, and isn't that so lovely? And your head automatically starts seeing the positive things, and your outlook on life, the way that you feel about life, shifts along with that. Which leads into positive reinforcement. That's all you're doing. You're just positively reinforcing your brain, and it does work long term. In the beginning, when I started trying to do this, it sometimes felt like, why am I doing this? But this is something that I've done from a very young age, and it's always helped me get through things, and it helps me look back at life and realise that I was able to enjoy even very tricky chapters, because, and that's not to say that I enjoyed all of the time. There were points where I was crying in the bathroom, and, you know, I think it's very good to be open and human and not be unrealistic about the colour spectrum that life is. But if there are moments when you can choose and can softly direct yourself into choosing softness and having that positive reinforcement, why not? It absolutely improves your living experience. Then the last point that I wrote down was that enjoyment increases repetition. So if you're enjoying life, if you're enjoying romanticizing things, you're more likely to go out there and live life. You're more likely to go out there and experience things and just repeat things. So if I'm sitting and doing the dishes and I'm really stressed and overwhelmed, I'm probably not going to want to do the dishes or anything for that matter. But if I'm sitting there and I'm romanticizing the birds that I'm looking at outside, or, you know, just small things, it really does shift the way that you experience things and the fact that you're more likely to go out and live your life. Now, as an ADHD girly, I think it's very important to raise the topic of why this helps with ADHD. Dum dum dum. So I wrote some more points down. Dum dum. So, why this is especially helpful if you are burnt out or... It cut out. Oh my gosh. Anyways, so this is especially helpful if you're burnt out or ADHD, because ADHD brains respond strongly to colour, texture, novelty, sensory reward, making life feel cute and cosy, lowers resistance, increases follow-through. Softness is not lazy, it's strategy. I love that saying. If I tried to come up with these sayings on the spot, it probably wouldn't work. I personally feel like I'm a better writer than a public speaker, so when I've had time to reflect and really, you know, get my thoughts out in a kind of romantic literature way, then I feel that I can read from that and speak about it openly. But if you ask me to speak on the spot, I get really kind of like almost stage fright, and I go, what am I saying? I have not prepared. So I feel like part of good oration is preparing your kind of talk or your points. So that's why I do that, because I feel like it gives me direction in when I'm filming these and gives me direction on actually what I want to deliver as a message. But yeah, just thought I'd add that because my friend called me yesterday and she was saying that she was watching some of my videos here and she really liked how natural I come across. And I was trying to encourage her to do her YouTube, but she was feeling a bit shy about it. And if you're watching this, I really want you to do it, please. She's got such an interesting story and I feel like she'd do so well online. But yeah, and I just wanted to highlight that, you know, if I do come across organic and natural, that's only because I've given myself a little bit of pointers to feel like I know where I'm going with the conversation. But yeah, so Something else that I pointed down that I did want to talk about was practical ways to romanticize your life. So, little things like drinking your morning beverage, whatever it is, water, your tea, your coffee, from a cup that you really like can actually help. So if there's cups that don't make you feel inspired by life, I charity shopped mine. And, you know, I think there are ways that you can recycle them, give them somewhere else. But there are certain cups where you see it and for some reason you just feel good. And I've met guys who feel this way too. It's not just a girly thing. I met a guy who, he had this mug. He just adored this mug. It was something to do with like royal family, and he just really liked it. And every time he drank from it, he felt super special. So this is not something that's just exclusive to the girls. This is a guy thing too. Just small things like that. I'm not saying it has to be that, but you can take small steps to just romanticize your life. And I think what you see and what makes you feel good actually matters. Wear colours that make you happy. So I used to, in my teenage years, be very monochrome. I would very much stick to black, and I enjoyed that. I even at one point got black lipstick. If I can find the photo, I'll add it here. And at that point, it was very reflective of how I felt about everything. I just wanted to be monochrome, and that felt good for me at the time. But since then, I have not been shy about experimenting with colours and just trying and testing things out that make me feel good. And for me, most of the time it's pink or something kind of creamy beigey, pastel colours, that sort of vibe. They just always make me feel good. And when I wear them, I notice a shift in myself too. And so again, that kind of links back to that video about what you wear matters. But it's just, I think, a little bit of colour psychology and a little bit of just wearing things that bring out your most positive self. This is a huge one that really helped me, and it's lighting candles. So I don't know why, but some people I've been around, they just get really weird about like candles need to be for special occasions only. I've never felt this way, but I never actively lit candles just because, until I kind of got to this big healing stage of my life. And now candles are just a normal go-to for me. They just make life feel cozy. They kind of add that element of natural fire that does give off that kind of you're in the fairy woods vibes for me. And, you know, my friends that have come to visit me and stayed over, even though it's cozy, they've always said it gives off very whimsical vibes and it's really cutesy and cozy and feels like home. And I think part of that is that I'm not shy about doing things that make me feel cozy, like lighting candles. And that's going to look different for absolutely everybody, but you need to figure out what does that for you. Maybe it's arranging flowers, maybe it's a special colour light. You know, I've got one friend, she's obsessed with infrared lighting, and basically in the evenings, if you look from her window as you go to see her, it's all red lighting, and she just really likes it. It makes her feel good. And, you know, whatever it is for you, you need to find that, but I think you don't limit yourself. I think so many people limit themselves with things like candles, like their favourite outfit, and only wear it or use them every now and then, when actually every day is the special occasion. You're here, you're alive, and you want to look back at life and be like, I enjoyed it. I think a huge one is sometimes just slowing down and enjoying the moment, because so many of us are stuck rushing around, and I've been there, I've been rushing around, especially you go somewhere like a big city. For example, I used to work in London, and you just, something in your head shifts and everyone goes into this zombie-like state and you're rushing around and you get annoyed at people who are slow and you're like, ah. But actually, slowing down and enjoying the moment is something really sacred, because you just pause for a second and go, wow, like there is so much that I'm not noticing. There is so much beauty. There is so much like wonder of the world that I could be in awe of, and I'm not looking. And I think it was a quote from Ferris Bueller's Day Off, if you've watched the film, and he says something along the lines of, if you don't stop every now and then, life will pass you by and you wouldn't have lived it or noticed it. Something along those lines, but if I find the quote, I'll put it here. But yeah, and I think it's so true, because we do get so caught up, especially in this consumerist world, social media, trying to kind of work hard, play hard, fit the grind, just survive, that we forget that the whole point is just to also enjoy and be present with at least some of the moments that we live. I guess all I'm saying is sometimes you don't need more time, you just need more intention with what you're doing with your time. Because at the end of the day, we all have commitments, we all have things that we need to do in order to survive and thrive in the world. But that being said, we can still be intentional with the time that we do have and make the small moments really worth it. And that was a quote that I really liked growing up, and it followed the lines of, sometimes it's not about the time that we have, but the moments that make life worth living. I need to find the quote. I don't remember it off the top of my head, but I had it framed with a little girl holding a butterfly kite, and it always gave me the reminder that sometimes you can't control all the time that you have on this planet, but you can enjoy the moments that you have that freedom to really make them worthwhile. Gentle reframe. Joy should not be something that you earn after productivity. Joy is a part of life. Choosing small pleasures is a form of self-respect and self-love. You don't need to punish yourself and go, oh, I'm only allowed to feel joy because I've done something. You should just, joy can come from such small little things, like just looking outside and going, wow, what a beautiful field. I don't know. But, for me, those little things help. And I guess you need to find what sparks and fuels that magic for you. But for me, sometimes it is something as small as looking at the sunset and going, what a gorgeous sky, or just sitting outside on a bench with the trees, with nature. For me, I'm also not too far from the beach, so when the weather's lovely, I go to the beach and I just take in the view, and it's really lovely. So, I think it's unique to everyone, and, what makes everyone happy is different, but as long as you're not hurting anyone. So today, if you can, try and romanticize one small moment and see how it makes you feel. And if you can, try and do it every day for a week, and see again if that within a week's time reframes your general feeling about life. Look how cute this is. I'm so happy that the sun's come out. I don't know why the camera's so low, let's lift it up a bit. Will it go up? Oh, I do like that actually. Oh, but now it's too high. There we go. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Do 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 do.